What's up, everyone? Sean here, and welcome to the Hawke Talks. Today, I'm going to be talking about the update that came a couple weeks back now. I know it's a little late at this point, but I still wanted to express my thoughts about it. I haven't done so because there's just things that came up over the past few weeks, so I didn't really get a chance to talk about it, but I do still really want to talk about it, and it's still, I guess, a relevant topic thanks to some fan art of a certain gym leader that just came out as of recent. At least I'm recording this. So anyway, breaking it down and just expressing my thoughts about it. So where to begin? So I guess let's get this one out of the way. So it all starts with the Pokemon Gigantamaxing, which basically is Dynamaxing, but it takes place at the arena, or the big Pokemon Stadium that's been, on the forefront of Sword and Shield. It's one of the big new changes, I guess, or new gimmicks or whatever that is, making Sword and Shield unique in its own sense. So whenever a Dynamaxing takes place, it becomes Gigantamaxing. So I guess they're probably bigger or around the same size as Dynamaxing. But the difference that is key with Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing, at first I call it Gigantamaxing for some reason because I like to throw in that Spanish in there here and there. But anyway, the biggest difference between them is Gigantamaxing comes with a different form and different attacks as well. So in a way, it is answering to the whole complaint about Mega Evolutions and also Z moves in a way. While Z moves I don't care too much about as much, Mega Evolutions are really neat. I did really like them whenever they were first introduced into the game, especially from X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So something like that, seeing something like that in this game being confirmed was really nice in that sense. So far we've seen 3 different forms for three different Pokemon, one of each, of course. Corviknight was one of them. Alcremie, or Alcreme, I'm gonna call it for now, has a very drastically different form during Gigantamaxing. And the last one was Dreadnought, who also takes on an interesting form. Corviknight is probably the least contrasting out of the 3 so far. The Alcreme is definitely the biggest one of them all when it comes to contrast. Very different in design, so that's really cool. I would like to see others make it in there as with different Gigantamaxing designs. Hopefully Tyranitar will come with one. There's rumors that Pikachu will revert to Fat Pikachu, the classic Fat Pikachu design from back in the day will be the Gigantamaxing form for Pikachu. But that's for rumors for right now. Maybe Yamper will get one. Maybe Duraludon will get one, which is the new Pokemon that's been introduced in the updates, which I will go into further a little later. But anyway, yeah. So Gigantamaxing is neat. It does give me a little more, I guess, excitement in that sense when it comes to Dynamaxing itself. At first, I thought it was just literally just Pokemon being bigger without any changes in the design. But at this point now, it is a little more exciting in that sense because, yes, it will change forms for certain Pokemon, just like certain Pokemon had Mega Evolutions. So that covers that, I guess. So that's what we're gonna get. That's the mechanic we're gonna get for Sword and Shield. That's not as big of an issue when it comes to Mega Evolutions, because at least then we were gonna see some different designs. That's cool, and plus they're bigger, so I guess that only makes it more dramatic. So next we're gonna be talking about the new Pokemon that was introduced in that update, which was the introduction of Yamper. Yamper is the electric corgi, which is really funny because I have a friend that has a corgi, well, half corgi, half German Shepherd and other mixes, but mostly corgi and mostly German Shepherd. He's a wild little, literally, I guess you can call him a Yamper as well because he's very crazy and stuff. Very excited, very hyperactive, and funny enough, Danny, it's my friend Danny's dog. So, very hyperactive. So, I guess he might be a little similar with the Emperor. And funny enough, his name is Thor. So I wonder if Danny will if Danny will get Yamper and nickname him Thor later on, whenever he catches it. Probably it'll be early in the game, so it won't be too long after the game launches and stuff, and we both get it. But it's kind of cool, to see a corgi being represented in Pokemon in some shape or form. Yamper is electric type for the most part, a pure electric type, and its ability is very interesting. It's ball fetch, and ball fetch essentially allows Yamper to retrieve the first Pokemon thrown if it failed to catch the Pokemon in the field. So that's pretty meta if you ask me. I guess early on in the game, so it'll save you, a couple more Pokeballs, and you can last a little longer when it comes to the supply of Pokeballs on the field. So that's kind of a cool ability. Obviously, it won't work for a battle sense, but for the sake of capturing Pokemon, the single player experience, Yamper is the one to go to, probably early in the game at least. But still, I think Yamper is pretty neat. I wonder if Yamper will have a different Gigantamaxing form. That is for the future for us to see. So, but so far, they released the artwork for Yamper, and I think Yamper looks pretty adorable from the artwork anyway. It'll probably be like one of the Pokemon that Ash will catch in the Sword and Shield anime or whatever. Probably will be one of his 6 Pokemon anyway in his roster. Next up, we have Roly-Coly. It's a rock Pokemon or a coal Pokemon who has a kind of an interesting ability. One is heat proof, but the other is Steam Engine. Steam Engine, it basically allows a speed boost for Roly-Coly when it's hit by fire or water type moves during battle. So and it's interesting because it's a rock type, and we all know that rock types are weak against water. So I don't know if it's worth the sacrifice. Maybe it'll scale with how much damage it received or something. I don't know. But otherwise, if it gets hit by fire type moves, then yes, I can see this as a viable ability, I guess, if you're battling against more of a fire type oriented Pokemon team, I guess. But otherwise, water type is just, I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe it has like higher special defense or something of the sort. It's got to have something up its sleeve, especially when it evolves or something. I'm assuming that it has an evolutionary form of some kind. Later on, he'll probably reveal it. That's for us to see. But so far, initially in the design, it's more or less a something you would see in Pokemon. A coal being represented in Pokemon. One neat thing about it is it has a wheel on the bottom, so it's gonna look like one of those like those motorized scooters that only have like 2 wheels or something like that. I don't know. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Or those like motorcycles and you see in like animes or cartoons that have like 1 wheel, but somehow it like balances itself, like one of those like futuristic motorcycles or something like that. So that's what it kind of reminds me of in that sense. So I guess Roly-Coly is a bit somewhat of a neat design. I don't know if I'll get attached to it too much, but it'll definitely be popular in the mining coal or mining places anyway, or mining caves. It'll probably be like the Geodude of Sword and Shield. It'll be pretty common in those caves or mining places and stuff like that. So it'll definitely be one of those Pokemon in a way. So lastly, we have Duraludon. Out of the 3, he is the last one. So he is a alloy Pokemon. So obviously he's metal, but not just that. He is steel and dragon type. So that's kind of cool. We haven't seen that in a long time. Besides Dialga, this is supposed to be a rival to Tyranitar, so that's kind of unique in that sense. But it's not the problem, of course. He's supposed to be light, he's supposed to be faster, to contrast with Tyranitar, who's supposed to be like the bigger, bulkier kind of guy. But he is, Duraludon anyway, he is 5'11", and I think Tyranitar is supposed to be like 6'11" or something like that. It's close to that. It's actually really funny because they're supposed to be rivals, and yet Duraludon is significantly smaller and lighter. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but I guess we'll have to see with the abilities and stuff. But it's supposed to be pretty durable, but according to the description anyway, is that Duraludon can move quite quickly in spite of its appearance. Its body is weak to corrosion, however, and is known to rust easily. So I think Sandstorm's gonna do a number on this guy. So I don't know why they made a rival for Tyranitar and potentially be significantly weaker than Tyranitar. But then again, Tyranitar is rock, and Steel is strong against rock. So I guess that's like the balance, I guess, with this rivalry anyway. So and it's dragon. So that's I guess a little more better for Duraludon. But we'll have to see how Duraludon fares against Tyranitar, both anime and the competitive side of things when it comes to Pokemon. But from the design anyway, I think it could have been a little better, but it is unique in that sense, I guess. But my friend Michi from the podcast, he pointed out that he does look like a lighter, and I can't kind of shake off that image for Duraludon. So to me, initially, he does kind of look like something you see like with like the Godzilla monsters or something like that, or Godzilla villains, especially with like I guess Mecha Godzilla. I guess he's the closest thing, or Mogera, for those who are fans of Mogera like myself when I was younger. Sort of reminds me of that, minus the drill on the mouth. But Duraludon, he's supposed to be a rival of Tyranitar, so naturally people are gonna compare it to like a mecha monster from the Godzilla franchise. So it can't be helped because Tyranitar looks like Godzilla, and that's what I love about Tyranitar. But anyway, Duraludon, I guess we'll have to wait and see of how he fares, what he's gonna do, and we'll judge from there. But for right now, from this artwork anyway, and some of the things that we saw from the trailer, I guess it's kind of cool. But again, we'll have to see the full product in order to fully judge on Duraludon as a Pokemon anyway later on. Next one up is the characters that were revealed for this update anyway. We'll go through this one, which is Chairman Rose or Rose, and Oleana, Rose or Rose's secretary. First off, Rose is just he does look like a chairman. He looks like a businessman. He does look friendly on the surface, but there's probably gonna be a twist involving him being the villain of the game, or one of the villains of the game. We don't know. Meanwhile, Oleana will probably be the good guy or something, like she was working undercover or something like that. Despite having that dead-looking face, but or calm or collected sort of face. But so far, Oleana is like kind of the underrated character. A lot of fan art comes from another character we'll talk about later on. But Oleana, I think in my opinion, does deserve more fan art from people and artists or whatever. Her design is a little more unique as of late, especially her face. It's definitely the biggest trademark that she has to offer. But otherwise, yeah, she does look cool. Everywhere else, like her outfit and everything, I do like it. And Chairman Rose is more neutral. He just looks very straightforward. He's a businessman, blah blah blah. So not much to say about Rose or Rose. I don't know why I keep calling him Rose. Maybe he sounds more fancy or something. But he may be the villain. I don't know. We'll see about that. Oleana is probably the again the good guy or whatever. But we'll have to see about that. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe Oleana's the villain and Rose is like the puppet or something for her master plan. I don't know. We'll have to see about that when it comes to the Pokemon Sword and Shield story or lore. Next one up is everyone's favorite, which is version exclusives. Yes, it's the old tradition of making people buy one version or the other, or both versions at that. But it gives a little more identity to each version anyway when it comes to Pokemon anyway. So when it comes to Sword, Dino and Jagmo-O will be appearing in that version, while in Shield we have Larvitar and Gumi appearing in that version. So the dragons will be the exclusives this time around for Sword and Shield anyway. Now, allow me to put this point on hold for now because I do want to talk about the other version exclusive, which is the gyms, or gym leaders rather. So this time around, we're gonna have version exclusive gyms, and we have first off Bia for Pokemon Sword, who is a fighting type gym leader, and of course she is everyone's favorite when she was first revealed, along with Alistair. Alistair is the ghost type gym leader, a younger boy and all that stuff. He kind of got the shorter end of the stick. I mean, I think he deserves more attention anyway. He does look pretty cool. He is the gym leader for ghosts anyway, ghost types. So I gotta give him more kudos on that because I do love the ghost types. So, but Bia, of course, she is everyone's favorite right now because she's a martial artist female. So a lot of fan art has come out. Even right now, as I record this, there's still fan art of Bia continuing to come out, which is crazy. I think she looks really cool though. She has a good balance of being cute and being really cool at the same time. She got the hair, the hair tie, being big and stuff. She got some adorable short-haired style, and of course the combination of her shirt and the sort of that Under Armour sort of shirt underneath is really cool. I do like that combo. She's also rocking the knee pads. She's got that one glove, of course. The asymmetry is going on there. She actually has her shirt like tied up to the side, which is kind of cool. Kind of like in a sense balances out the tied parts of her design. She has that giant like bow or hair tie on her head, and on the other side she has a knot coming from her shirt. So it kind of offsets and balances out, I guess, for the on that part. She just looks very athletic, of course, and that's why she's like a big favorite right now. And alongside Nessa, who was the other dark-skinned gym leader, who rocks the water types. So yeah, she's also more on the darker side too. She's not exactly pale. In contrast to Alistair, he is super pale. And matches the whole ghost thing going on. He has a Shy Guy mask, and that's what gives him the attention that he received back when he was first revealed too. I do like that. It's such a big Shy Guy reference. I love it. But it's unfortunate that we won't get to see him in the same version as Bia, because they're separated from each version. So Alistair being in Shield and Bia being in Sword, which is something that was not sitting with me right, and it still doesn't in a sense. People kind of argued against it. Like they say that it gives even more identity to each version, but to me it just kind of cuts people's experiences out in a way, because it would be cool to experience both Alistair and Bia in the same game, but you have to buy each one just to see their gyms and stuff and how they play out and stuff. Now, sure, yeah, there's a chance that you can whoop their ass in a couple of turns and it'll all be the same at the end on the surface, but character-wise, lore-wise, all that stuff, you don't really get to see that in one game. And the puzzles or whatever, you won't get to see in one game unless they'll do that in like the third version of Sword and Shield. Like, we'll just call it Pokemon Gun for right now. They'll probably be both in the game or something like that, just so it gives all the more reason for people to buy the third version. For now, I went ahead and pre-ordered the double pack again. I initially just wanted to get Sword. I wanted to be a Sword boy, but it was, what made the decision for me to go back to getting the double pack for right now. It kind of, I don't know, this whole thing isn't sitting right with me, just because you really have to get both versions just to see both Alistair and Bia into play. And unlike with like Pokemon, of course, you can trade them. You can, you have that friend that has a different version and trade it with each other. So that's cool. But gyms, you can't exactly trade with them. And of course, this isn't entirely new at all. Back in Black and White 2, they had different gym leaders for the Dragon type, but it's Dragon type, so you're not really missing out on that part. But these two are different. Bia is fighting type and Alistair is ghost type, so that is where that kind of draws that line. So I personally don't like it. For the most part, it just kind of stinks that way. It's like it's like splitting off two different stories or whatever, in that sense. But well, we have to see it as it is, and yes, I guess it does give each version an identity, but I think this is the wrong part of doing it, in my opinion. With gyms, you could have just done it with more Pokemon, of course, but this time around they chose to do it with gyms along with Pokemon as well. So again, I don't agree with it. It just doesn't sit right with me for some reason. It's hard to explain, other than that, I feel that it does split off the story part of things, or the single player aspect of things. But again, I'm getting a double pack anyway, so at least I get to experience both of these gyms whenever it comes out. But if I had to go with one, I would definitely still have no problem going with Sword, just because there's Bia being there, and also I would not have a problem with Jagmo-O, and of course Dino. Dino evolves to the King Ghidorah sort of monster, Hydreigon or something like that. I believe that was the name for it. Jagmo-O evolves to I forgot the name of that Pokemon, but is unique in that sense because it's a dragon and fighting type, and it has a lot of like scales going on, and I do like the design for that evolutionary form. So I wouldn't have a problem with that, just rocking Sword. But because of the whole gym thing going on, it's like, man, I kind of want to experience Alistair, because he's a ghost type gym leader, and like I said earlier, I do like my ghost types. But maybe if things could have been different, if it was a different type gym leader or something like that, then I wouldn't be as enticed or tempted to buy both versions. There is maybe some bias involved, but I still don't like the idea overall with version exclusive gyms, just solely and simply because you can't trade gyms. Obviously you can trade Pokemon, so I don't have a problem with version exclusive Pokemon anyway. And the same with the legendaries, of course. That's the big thing, of course, to give those two versions of the identity is the legendaries. But the Pokemon, you can trade them, that's no problem. But the gyms, it's it splits off that part of the single player anyway. So to me, that I just don't like that personally. So but I believe that's pretty much it for the updates that I want to talk about for Pokemon Sword and Shield. I still want to get it. I'm still pretty excited for the most part. I do want to try it out. I do want to give it a chance, despite all the controversy still surrounding Game Freak and Sword and Shield itself, and the fidelity or effort that's being put into the game. That's for us to really to see. We still have time. The final product could be different from what we've been seeing, hopefully, but that is for us to find out again in the future. I mean, I hate to keep saying that, but we really gotta wait. November is still ways away, so it's well in the holidays. So hopefully by then something changes, and maybe more reveals will be a thing. We'll probably get one more Pokemon Direct or something like that. So hopefully by then, the game will look more exciting for a lot more people anyway. And of course, with the Switch Lite coming, that will, that will definitely help boost the sales for both the game and the handheld console itself. So I think it will do well in sales, but it's just a matter of the reviews and critiques and stuff like that, how it'll fare with them. That's where it lies, especially with the hardcore fans and everything. So but anyways, again, that's pretty much it for the updates for Sword and Shield. That's my personal take on it. So if you guys have anything related to this video when it comes to comments, I would love to see them in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You know the drill. It helps out the channel. Really appreciate that, guys. And also check out all the sponsorship stuff and its social media stuff in the description below. Again, that's another way to support the channel, and really do appreciate it. This has been the episode on the Pokemon updates for the Hawke Talks. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Sean out.